Hey everyone, welcome back. This is MartineFelton, and welcome back to another episode of Martine's Musings. So, today I am going to muse about my experiences with an Akashic record reading. I've actually had two separate readings, and I want to share my experience. I want to talk about what I learned in these readings. I also, want to thank you for the reader, the Akashic record reader, who her name is Teena Christel, and she was absolutely amazing. The experience was so holistic and healing that I just really felt the need to share once I had the second reading. Yeah, it's just been so amazing to have this type of information to work with and to move forward with. So, what is the Akashic Records? The Akashic Records are sometimes referred to as the Book of Life, and is actually mentioned, they say, several times in the Bible. I cannot confirm nor deny that, but that's what I have read. Edward Casey, who is a famous American psychic, called the Akashic Records the Book of Life. It is basically a vibrational recording of your soul's journey, and meaning your past, your present, and your probable future. Okay. Um, I wrote some notes here. So it's like a Google search of about your soul, basically. So the reader, like I said, Teena Christel, she was very warm, high vibrational, very holistic. And I had one reading in July of 2020. And then I recently had another reading in February of 2022. Now, these types of soul based readings, I don't, for me personally, it's not the type of reading that I would get regularly, like every month, like a tarot reading. It's not a psychic reading at all. This is something that if you want to find out about your soul, if you want to find out, get into have a soul awareness about your path, what you are meant to do here in this incarnation, and if you want to learn about your past lives and what you need to do into moving forward, what the guides see you, what path is ahead of you, like this is the type of reading um that you get, if you're really and I am, you know so interested on being on my soul's journey and being on the right path, because I know that when you are on the right path and when you are doing the very thing that you came into this life to do, your life is so much better. It just expands, and things just come into your path because you are on the right one. You know what I mean? So I highly recommend anyone to have an Akashic record reading. It is very, very healing, extremely healing. So Tina and I, how she does her readings is that we do a breathing technique, a short breathing technique together, which is very heart centered. It's about opening up your heart center. And it's a breathing exercise where, you breathe in and out through your heart and connect through your heart and open up your heart space. So, what else did I want to share about that? Yeah, so we did the breathing technique, and that's what she does. Not all readers do that. So at the beginning of the reading, in an Akashic record reading, there is an opening of the records, and the reader does that by and asking that the information be shared with you. This will give you it will give you valuable insights and guidance in moving through the patterns prevalent in your current life. But the record keepers will be vague or turn it back to you when asked about an area that must be discovered by you and you alone. So meaning that they're going to be vague in the things that don't necessarily need to be revealed to you at this moment, because we are living in free will. So if they tell you too much, that may interrupt that. You know what I mean? So they tell you what you need to know and are very vague about certain things, because if too much is revealed, then that can really interfere with the natural flow and process of things. So that's where, that's kind of sticky, and that comes into play. Um Yeah, is the first thing is that you give permission for the reader to go into your Akashic records. And with your free will, only you can choose. Okay, the first agreement before a session is to be willing to allow your record keepers to open up new possibilities for you within the multiple life paths available. And with your free will, only you can choose any of these paths for yourself. Some paths are ideal for you now, and your record keeper will show this path or opportunities to learn as they see it necessary. Know that sometimes the record keepers can be very direct and short in their answers, and other times may provide answers that you may need to listen to multiple times to absorb the information. None of their answers are trivial, and that is true. All right. Nothing that they say, nothing that comes through the reader is trivial. So you have to listen very carefully. It's like sometimes I feel like it's coded. Your record keepers love you. You will receive what you need for your soul's growth and a life of well being. So, yeah, that's basically what an Akashic record reading is. And my first reading was in 2020. Like I said, I was writing my second book, which is a memoir, um, which is out now. You Love, You Learn. It's on my website, and martinefelton.com. And it was 2020. I was writing my second book. I was opening up to my gifts, psychic medium and healer. All of that was confirmed to me in that reading. That is what I came here to do, is to be a light worker, to help others ascend, to be a spiritual guide. They saw me writing more books and reaching many people with my mediumship and channeling. They suggested I get on a platform. So that's when I decided to really take my YouTube and my podcast more serious. Um, it truly was such a healing experience. The opening remarks, there are opening remarks, right? That messages that you need to have, what you need to know, what they know already know, what you want to know, they already know what you need to know. And then you have an opportunity to ask specific questions. So the first 20 minutes is the opening remarks, and they speak through Teena, and they tell you everything that you need to know. The first reading, the opening remarks, brought tears to my eyes. I felt so loved and so seen. And it was it was really healing, I have to say. So I'm going to share a bit of that with you guys and let you see how the reading went.
Guides, your angels, your ancestors. Speaking now, we are the spokesperson, if you will, for this team of light. We are the record keepers. And we are here today to share with you information that will help you expand your soul's awareness. This is the purpose of why we allow permission for someone like our vessel, Teena, to enter into your records only with your permission. And the first thing that we would like to share with you is that this exercise of heart breathing, bringing in the higher emotions, is something that we enjoy working with our vessel Teena. And we would love for you to continue this practice in your daily life. This is the first thing we would like to tell you, and this is because we would like to see your frequency be raised into a higher vibration to match and prepare for the new energies that are coming through. The new energies now that you are in is within the fourth dimension, which is our transformational dimension, the dimension between the old, heavier third dimension, where competition and selfishness is well part of the human condition. The fourth dimension is the transition of preparing you to release all of those lower emotions, lower memories, lower beliefs that will not be needed in the new energy of the fifth dimension. So the fourth dimension is here to help you transition from the old into the new. This is a very exciting time. And of course, if you don't understand the purpose of this transition period and understand the work that must be done, it can be uncomfortable. It can be chaos, as you may see out in the humanity that is expressing itself now. This is a natural expression of confusion, if you will. And this is not necessary for someone like you who understands and will understand more now because of taking this step. You will understand that this purpose of this fourth dimension is for you to do the work inside, from the inside out. This includes loving yourself. This includes the heart connection, and this includes asking the mind to take a back seat to your leadership in life.
So when I got this reading at that time, it was 2020. The pandemic had it was July of 2020, and the pandemic started like in February, March of 2020. So it was just a few months in, working from home, working my job from home. I was writing my memoir. My my gifts were coming in, and it was, and she was right. It was a really big transformational time for me. because it was like, yes, I know I have these abilities and I know I'm here to do this type of work, but how do I navigate it? How can I feel comfortable? How can I be confident? And so that's where the loving of myself and accepting self-acceptance and self-love came in for me. And I believe that that's how it is for a lot of people doing this work, doing the spiritual work. You have to accept yourself and love yourself. And it's not an easy process like it sounds, oh, just love yourself. It's not that easy. And especially if you're in the spiritual community and doing healing work and mediumship work and stuff, sometimes if you people that are in your life are looking at you like, girl, what are you doing? Don't you have a job? Aren't you a mom? Aren't you a wife? Like, what is all of this woo woo stuff that you're into right now? So it's really hard to transition from your regular life of what you're used to and what other people are used to seeing you as, and transitioning into this different spiritual person, and people think that you're kind of aloof and that you're not, um that you're you know that you're not like human. You're still having your human experience. That's the whole point of knowing that you're a soul having a human experience. So people think like, oh, she thinks she's too good, or she's different now. I don't want to rock with her anymore. She's like all into this spiritual shit and blah, blah, blah. But that's not even it. And as that person, it's that all of that energy, all of that different energy that you get from different people when they find out what you're doing is hard to navigate, and it can be really, really isolating. So that message from the record keepers was really healing for me, because it gave me confidence. It gave me the confidence that I needed in order to really, really step into my power and be my truest self and not care about what other people thought, and to be myself. And the thing was, this was always coming up for me in the past years, but I always kind of pressed it down because I didn't know what it was. I didn't want to be bothered. I was anchored into my third dimensional life. I was anchored into a job, making money, raising kids, getting into a relationship, trying to get pregnant, doing all. I was anchored. So all of the other soul things that were coming up for me, when they came up, when I would get intuitive hits, when I would hear spirit speak to me, I would suppress that and be like, what's I have other things to do. I don't, what is that? So, anyway, that message was really healing for me, and I'm going to continue playing it. Let's.
We are saying this because the mind can't possibly know what the future will hold. It couldn't possibly know. It, however, can help you decipher what the heart knows. And what the heart knows is the soul's desires, the soul's plan, the soul's purpose. And the mind can help you through visualization and through keeping this high vibrational thoughts and emotions, so that the frequency of yourself, of this vessel that is Martine, the higher you keep this frequency, the more positive your future will become.
Mm-hmm.
This is because all of the emotions and thoughts that you have now are in your field around you. And as you continue forward with the higher emotions and thoughts, your future is now manifesting through this auric field, magnetic field around you. We hope this is clear to you that you are in charge. You are in control to a certain degree on the direction that you are going. For what your heart's desires are can be manifested through the, the visual imagery in your mind of what it is that you see yourself being and doing, who you are in the future, but mostly how you will feel about who you are in the future. This is why these emotions and bringing them into the heart is part of this beautiful puzzle, if you will, to the future. And the future is in the fifth dimension. The
Yes, it
future for
is.
you and many within the spiritual uh, mm, level, if you will, of humanity, those who understand who they are and where they are going, those fifth dimensional newbies, if you will attain their higher frequency to go to the fifth dimension through this process of bringing their vibration higher. You can also bring your vibration higher through nature, through being in the outdoors, putting your feet on the dirt, on the grass, on the rocks. You can get this through meditation, contemplation, being in or near the water. There are many pathways to have this lifted higher vibration. And we ask you to have an awareness to being in the right environment, but being in the right inside space, which is why we suggest this heart technique, this breath, and this emotion.
See, at this time, I'm going to pause her video for a sec. At this time in 2020, I now realize that, I was sort of being prepped. I was being suited and booted to do 2 years later what I'm doing now. You know what I mean? It's a process. And although I knew at the time, they confirmed for me that yes, you are a medium. Yes, you will be channeling. You will be doing these things. You will be healing. You will reach many people. Well, those are some of the things that they told me. I thought that the process would be so much quicker. I was like, all right, so let's do it. Let's do it now, but it's a process. You have to raise your vibration, um slowly but surely. Like, yeah, there are certain things that you can do to raise your vibration, and then but it has to be like a lifestyle. It has to be, you have to maintain this level of high vibrational energy. That's what you have to maintain to be doing this type of work, for me to eventually do what she does, and I would love to do that. I would love to help people understand their soul and gain soul awareness and understand themselves on a soul level. But that, when I was writing my book and going through, uh, getting all the feels and feeling different things, and things were coming in, and I was learning tarot, and I was doing readings for people here and there, for friends, for family, or what have you. And I was like, well, why can't I just be the medium now, but I realized that there's a process, and I'm grateful for that, because I think that we always think that this process is like what we see in the movies. One day you wake up and like this person is like seeing ghosts or seeing things, and it's just like boom. But it's really not like that. It's a process, and it can take years. All right, I'll
Because
keep
if
playing.
you are in strength, if you are the willow that can blow in the wind without breaking, you will do fine. You will do well in this current energy. If you allow the lower emotions, such as anxiety or fear, or any of those anger or worry, sorrow, any of those emotions are perfectly normal for the human. In fact, it is what makes you human. It is the difference between you and all the other dimensional beings, that you have this large, long spectrum of emotional um, mm, experience. And we are simply suggesting to spend less time in the lower emotions as possible. We know that it is normal and natural to be there at times, but not to stay there too long, to move yourself up into the higher vibration so that you are setting forth the stepping stones of your future. So, this is our most mm, important, if you will, message for you, is to keep your vibration high, take care of yourself, listen to your heart's desires. Do not allow your mind to take you down any or rabbit holes, you might call them, that will pull you
Mhm.
down into the lower emotions. And we ask that you look in your past and you see those beliefs and those situations that you might still be holding on to.
Mhm.
And within this fourth dimensional energy, this is the time to let those go, to be who you are from the heart and soul perspective. To not let your mind be who you are,
Mhm.
to allow your beautiful heart to be who you are. For you are loved more than you could possibly know. You cannot comprehend in this dimension how loved you are. And all of us in your team of light are sending you this beautiful love at all times. Always. You are never alone. Ever. We are with you, and you are loved. You are loved so deeply. You are loved so fully that you may walk around your home or on a hike or a walk and hear, I love you.
That's happened.
And you think, well, that's strange. Did I just say that to myself? That is us speaking to you. It is not in a different voice. So we want you to recognize our voice is your voice. It is just gentler. And gentler, what we mean by that is loving. We want.
Yeah. So that was the part where I started jerking back some tears. Teena is the real deal, man. I would highly recommend her for a reading. You know, those were part of the opening remarks. Like I said, I won't share the questions I asked because that's personal. But let me tell you, this reading really helped me to grow, to really grow spiritually. It allowed me to put all of my fears and apprehensions about my path to rest for good. I still have some bumps along the way, but I know at least what I'm here to do. And that was a big thing for me, is questioning that. So that is real confirmation. My purpose was confirmed. So since then, I've had a battery on my back ever since, to develop my intuition, develop my relationships with my
We,
spirits. Oops.
being your guides,
Sorry, guys. To develop my relationship with my spirits and learn as much as I can, and share my gifts and share my knowledge as I receive it. So it's been what a ride it's been. And at the same time, I know that I haven't even scratched the surface yet. I know there is so much more to come, and I'll be and going to be able to offer so much more to humanity. It's just a matter of time. I know it. A matter of time of development, and radical self love and believing in my gifts. A lot of things that, they told me when I asked my questions, almost everything she told me came into fruition, and I learned, what I learned the most about that reading was I saw how free will in my life is at play. You know what I mean? Because, and how our paths are not really set in stone, like she had said in the opening remarks, but we do have contracts, but our free will determines what we experience to fulfill those soul contracts. Like everybody has soul contracts, but we have free will to move and wield as we please. So eventually we're going to be guided to fulfill those contracts, but we have free will. So, I mean, like for instance, if you like one of your I always say my spirit guides must be sick of me, like we're probably sick of me in the past when I wasn't awake, because I would just make crazy moves, and they were probably like, oh god, here she goes again. Well, we'll let her, go down this, you know dead end path until she can't go anymore, and then hopefully she'll realize, take another turn and do something else. So my second reading was literally last month in February 2022, and it was equally as healing as the first one. I had specific questions, of course, and the record keepers this time, like the record keepers knew everything, knew what I wanted to hear. It was just so amazing. I cannot stress that enough, and I cannot um recommend this reading enough. And with this particular, I'm not, my experience is with Teena, so that's the only thing I can go by, but I highly recommend her, and I will have her information in the description box. So here's a little clip of my second reading in the opening remarks, and here we go.
hello and welcome to this moment of connectivity with your team of light, with source energy. This is the moment that we have waited for, so that we may speak to you and confirm our beautiful, beautiful light, that you are indeed, Martine, connected with your team of light. And when you feel that you are receiving the downloads, the information, the creative inspiration, it is the truth.
I'm going to pause it there. I had been, even though you know that you get information, you know that you're a medium or that you're channeling, sometimes you sometimes you don't believe it. You're like, is this my mind? Is this my ego playing tricks with me? Or is this really real? So, a lot of times I was, even though I knew what I knew about myself and what I'm supposed to be doing, there were a lot of times I was questioning my abilities and questioning the information that I was getting. So, they knew immediately, right away, to open up with those remarks that I needed to hear that. Because that was actually one of the questions that I had written down was like, is this real? When I get tingles, what does that mean? And you know what I mean? And it was so beautiful how they just knew immediately what to tell me, what I needed to know.
You are connected. And we simply want to confirm that you are not necessarily in need of a conduit such as the vessel Teena. You are in a vibration at times to bring forward the information that you seek. And in those times of higher vibrations, we ask you to bring your pad of paper and your pen so that you may have questions for your team of light and your own soul to formulate the answers that you ask. For once you write them down, you will understand that it is not your mind that is pretending to provide the information. It is through the mind, but it is from the heart. And as you create a higher vibration, using the practice suggested by the vessel Teena, you can be in a higher vibration while driving your car or walking through the park or down the street or folding the clothes or making the bed. For you can do this with eyes wide open, knowing that your team of light is protecting you in this circle, this shell of a high energy vibration. Within the love that you are, our beautiful Martine, you are also emitting a light when you are in the high vibration energy. And we ask that you pay particular attention when you are feeling this connectivity, not only to your own soul, to your own heart, but to your team of light and to source energy, to God, Him or herself. For this is a transformational time, and all of the energies and the support of the light beings, the guides and the angels from which you, our beautiful Martine, have come from, still support you, even though there is a difference in dimension. So understand that you can call in your team of light at any time. Simply bring in the higher vibration through the breath and the vision of love and compassion, peace, kindness, happy, content. And that vibration, that frequency will connect you.
Anyway, like I was saying, she is amazing. That reading was so amazing. That was just a portion of the opening remarks the record keepers had for me. Obviously, there's more, but I'm not going to share all of it. But again, those were my two Akashic record readings. That's my experience. It's a very healing experience. It was a very holistic experience and allowed me to really step into my power, to be more confident in my path, to grow spiritually. And even though I had apprehensions and they confirmed it, they reinforced it once again for me. It just really helps me to feel secure in and to feel grounded in what I'm doing. So, again, I can't stress this enough. I highly recommend you experience an Akashic record reading with whoever you resonate. I resonate personally with Teena, so obviously I would recommend her. I will have all her information in the description box if you are interested in getting a reading from her. She's amazing. Mention my name, tell her Martine sent you. Okay. So that is the episode for today. I hope that this information supported you in some way. And I hope that me sharing my experience with you will help you move on and go out there and experience this as well. All right. So if you'd like a personal reading from me, by the way, I do psychic tarot readings. You can book that on my website, martinefelton.com. That information will be in the description, as well as Teena's information where you can book her for Akashic record readings. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like the video, comment, subscribe to the channel. I do live tarot readings every Tuesday at 11 a.m., which stream live on YouTube, on my Facebook business page, as well as my Twitter page. So go ahead, come join me every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern for a free little mini read. And that will be all. Also, no, actually, that's not all. I have plenty more to say. If you would like to purchase my latest book, You Love, You Learn, that's also available on my website. Information will be in the description. Go ahead and rate this podcast. If you're listening on a podcasting platform, uh, however that works, on Apple or whatever, rate it, leave a comment, give me some big ups in the reviews, and I will see everyone next time. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting me, and love and light to you all.